What is bullying? It's being called names, being teased, being pushed or pulled, being hit or attacked, having your bag and other possessions taken away from you, having rumors spread about you, being ignored, not a part of the cool group of kids or teens. Others take your lunch money, being attacked because of your religion or your color. How many of you have ever been bullied? I have. But when I was bullied, it was in the 4th grade, I remember it like yesterday. This boy told me to bring him $5. And I did. The next day he said bring him $5 again. And I did. But one day I told him I wasn't going to bring him $5 anymore. And I pushed him in the bathroom. And he never bothered me again. Now I'm not suggesting that you resort to that type of activity, but you have to stand up and take a stand at some point. Those of you who have been bullied know that it hurts. It's not cool. It makes you scared and angry, afraid to go to school because you know the bully will be there. In elementary school, the taunts are simple. You are fat, you don't look good, you're stupid. It's enough to make your kid come home from school crying, and certainly enough to ruin their day when someone picks on them or makes fun of them. And as their parent, you would love to exact revenge on the bully. But as a responsible parent, you're forced to merely console your child and tell the teacher. Bullying in middle school is a whole different story. The internet has started to play a pretty big part now, as most of you have Facebook pages and smartphones. Cyberbullying. This is where children are bullied. Children are bullied via electronic means. But then in high school, this is where bullied children experience escalated violence. Getting shoved on the bus, shoved into lockers, shoved into bathroom stalls. Those that are bullied are made fun of, kicked, poked, laughed at, beat up. Some of those terrorized kids end up bullying in the most permanent and tragic ways, possibly by ending their own lives. So what makes a person want to bully others? They have their own problems. They may feel upset or angry, or feel that they don't fit in. Perhaps they have problems at home. Maybe they get bullied themselves by other people, perhaps by someone in their own family or other adults. They're scared of getting picked on, so they do it first. They want to show off and seem tough. Many don't like themselves, and so they take it out on someone else. But in our text, the Apostle Paul writes to a number of early Christian communities in the Roman province of Galatia. And Paul is principally concerned with the controversy surrounding Gentile Christians and the Mosaic law in early Christianity. Only in the book of Galatians does Paul fail to begin writing to affirm anything or anyone else. If you take a look at Paul's writings, he always opens up with a commendable salutation. But in the book of Galatians, after a brief greeting, Paul jumps right into the problem. This letter is different from Paul's other letters to churches he founded. And some believe that the book of Galatians is the most emphatic or the most lengthy appeal about salvation apart from the law to be found in Scripture. It is the only letter in which Paul develops a lengthy case study to illustrate how God saves mankind. The central dispute in the letter concerns the question of how Gentiles should convert to Christianity. Let's tell you that you're ugly, no one likes you. You a church boy, a church girl, you just got saved and now they're making fun of you. You're not cool. You should smoke marijuana. You should smoke the cigarette. You should have sex because it's cool. They tell you it's not cool to be a Christian. Paul says in verse 9 and 10 of chapter not grow weary in doing good. And what is good? Good is not pushing people around. Good is not trying to make others act like you. Good is not taking others' lunch, but good is living a life according to God's will. Somebody ought to say, don't be a bully. Doing good means being friends with the new kid who comes to your school. Doing good means getting good grades and going to college, going to trade school or joining the military. Doing good just means being a productive member of society. Doing good means feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, going to church, going to Sunday school, and coming to the YPD retreat. Doing good means not intentionally hurting others. If you continue participating in the Allen Little Star, if you keep getting up on Saturday mornings to attend meetings in Columbia, Florence, Charleston, Greenville, and other areas, that God will surely look favorably upon you. And see, in this text, Paul says, if you continue to do good, in due season you will reap the harvest. And there's a period between doing good and reaping the harvest. And one or two things will happen to you. When you do good and you don't see the good things happening to you, one or two things will happen to you. You will either become more faithful or you will either become more faithless. But for a Christian, when we do good and it seems like the reward is delayed for us, we should not become more faithless, but our faith should increase in God. And that's how we grow in faith. Yes, but the first thing to think about in this text is bullies never win. Bullies never win. Think about it. Think about the bullies you know. They tell you that you're not cool because you go to class and do your homework. Yet they don't go to class and they don't finish their homework. Bullies never win. They don't study. So in essence, they're not cool. To all of you that are young men or boys, the way you can overcome the act of bullying is to act like a man. Bullying is for boys. But as Jennifer Hudson and Leo puts it, you ought to act like a man. Acting like a man means that you don't act like a little boy. Acting like a man means that you ought to act like you've got some sense. Pull up your pants. Comb your hair. Take responsibility for your actions. If you are a teenage young man, then you should take time with the little boys in your church to show them the way and be a positive role model. Take them and show them how to hold a football or throw a basketball. But whatever you do, do not grow weary in doing good. For in due season, you will reap the harvest that God has for you. And I know Drake has this new thing. You only live once. Y'all know about the YOLO, don't you? But let me tell you about you only live once. People who adhere to that philosophy, that you only live once, they cannot be a Christian. Because if you are a Christian, you realize that life does not end right here. So I can't buy into you only live once, because I believe that I shall live again. So I can't say I'm only going to live once, but I know that if I do what is right, for the right reason, God will take care of me. If you're a young lady, Trey Songz says it best. Sex ain't better than love. That little boy who's whispering in your ear, essentially telling you to go against everything you learned at this YPD retreat, telling you that it's time, telling you that if you love him that you should have sex with him. But he really doesn't love you. If he loves you, he will tell you that you should do what is right and you should wait to do what grown folks do. wait, make him understand that you must love yourself first before you can love him. And if he loves you, standing on your 2 feet, more than he will appreciate you lying on your back. But I didn't give up because I know that in due season, if I wait on the Lord, he will strengthen my heart. If I wait on the Lord, he will give me everything I need. If I wait on the Lord, he will guide my feet. He will make a way. He will take care of me. Yes. Is he all right? Late in the midnight hour, when people make fun of you, is he all right? Late in the midnight hour, when nobody will talk to you, is he all right? Late in the midnight hour, when you got more muff than money, will he make a way somehow?